So I am thankful to have with us today for our second episode of PBC Warriors with the PBC Awareness organization. I am Takoya Urbina, the communications manager, and we have joining us today PBC Warrior Tom Zimmerman. Thank you for agreeing to come on and speak with our viewers today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
It's great. I definitely want to make sure that we capture this interview for the audience who are other patients and advocates and caregivers that have loved ones that have the disease. I want them to be able to hear from you and your perspective and your experience, and for you to encourage other people who have the disease or are going through it so that they can know that they aren't alone in this journey and that you have something to share. So thank you. And this is going to be very informal. I have a few questions, but it's mostly conversational.
Sure.
Um, I just would first like to start off with how you discovered that you have PBC. Were there any symptoms that alerted you to go get checked by your physician, or did you go for your annual and test came up abnormal? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, can I go back a couple of years though?
Sure, definitely.
It's an interesting process I've been going through. Um, in 2022, I had COVID for the first time. I did get the injections, to try to prevent it or minimize it. And after having COVID, well, first of all, I just had a low grade fever. It lasted probably for a couple hours. And I worked for a not for profit, and uh, you know, we had to stay out for 10 days. But being the executive officer, I worked from home, and I was able to uh, endure that. And then after that, I decided I would go for a physical because I was losing weight and I felt like I didn't have the energy or the stamina that I had prior to COVID. Now, I'm not blaming COVID, but I just want to go back to where I was starting to feel fatigued. I felt like I didn't have the energy or the enthusiasm. I'm a skier, so I was going to go skiing. And for some reason, I was just like, man, I'm not up for this. And that's one of my favorite things to do. And so I went to the doctor and I said, listen, I've been losing weight. I've been working out more. I've changed my diet a bit because of the symptoms that I've had. So I thought that would help, but I couldn't gain weight. So he says, okay, let me take a blood test and let me examine you. So my blood tests came back and I had high liver enzymes. And so he said, hey, let's do a sonogram. I said, okay, let's see what's going on. So I went for the sonogram and they checked all my organs. And, I got on the portal for the first time. I was learning how to get on the portal and communicate with the doctor that way. And he let me know that they didn't discover anything. Everything looked good. And I looked healthy and I'll see you next year. So I was excited. I said, okay, my liver is good, my kidneys are good, my intestines and all the other organs look good. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to stay on this new diet I have because I'm starting to feel better. And so from there, I decided, okay, I'm doing really well. I'm working out, I'm eating right, I'm getting sleep. And so unfortunately, I let a few years slip by because I was feeling much better. And then I went for a routine physical in December. And again, my blood work came back with the high liver enzymes. So he said, okay, let's do another sonogram. So I went for a sonogram and the same results. Everything looks great. I'll see you. Oh, let's do 6 months. So I was excited. I said, all right, everything still looks good. And I'm feeling pretty good still, with the new diet and the exercise and sleeping right and all the other things that I implemented in my life since 2022. So then I woke up the next day and I was like, wait, that bothers me. Why is my liver enzymes still high? That can't be right. So I went to Dr. Google. I know I shouldn't rely on Dr. Google, but I tried to connect with legitimate medical doctors and the science and things like that. So I became very concerned. I could have X, Y, and Z, and perhaps this and that. So I called the office up and I said, "Listen, I want to check this out further. I'm concerned about my liver enzymes." And he said, "Well, I'll refer you to a gastroenterologist." I said, "Well, that sounds legitimate. Let's do that." And he's going to order another blood work. So went back for more blood work, and my enzymes actually were even higher than
Wow.
they originally were when I went for the last one. So I went to the gastroenterologist, and he sat me down. He said, "Based on your blood work, you look like you have PBC." I didn't know what PBC was, and he explained it to me, and he said he'd like to do a liver biopsy. So with my little research that I did, I know that's invasive. And I said, wait, hold on. I said, can we do something else? Can I have more blood work? And he says, sure, we could do more blood work. And I said, during that time period, I'm going to even eat better and I'm going to exercise and, see what I can do. Because in the past, I've had some uh, concerns with my blood. I have Gilbert's disease.
Mhm.
That was diagnosed back in 1979, and but you could live with that. And I just had to take care of myself in regards to the bilirubin count, so I wouldn't be jaundiced and all. So he said, let's also do an MRI. So I said, well, that's good. He said, we'll get a better picture of your organs. So he scheduled that and went for the MRI, and so he contacted me and said, we can't identify anything. The only thing is that you have a seven, I don't know if it's millimeter or centimeter, but it's the smallest lesion on your on your liver, but it looks benign. And you also have a small cyst on the body of your pancreas. That scared me, of course, because I had two friends that had pancreatic cancer. But he said that it looks benign too. It's because it's a clear cyst. And he goes, and that's good. We did the MRI because at least we know that. We'll keep a look. We'll check that up. We'll check that in 6 months. But he goes, let me meet with you. So I met. He said, well, it's time for the liver biopsy. So I agreed to that. Had the liver biopsy, and it went. It was easy. I didn't feel a thing, and it was a very interesting process. And so after about a week, he said, "Yep, you have PBC. So I like to get you on Ursodiol. I believe that's what it's called, Urso for short." He says it's the first line of medication that we hope will work for you. So I got the prescription, and that was all new to me. This is the first time I'm taking any medications. And I'm 175, so he prescribed 300 milligrams of Urso, and I have to take it 4 times a day. So that was a big change for me to
Mhm.
adapt to taking medication. I mean, I took multivitamins and omega-3, fish oil, and so integrating that into my lifestyle was, it was something I had to adapt
Mhm.
to. So I set up 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock at night to take it with food. Of course, I dove right into that. How do you take this medication? What's the best way to take it? Of course, it's with food, and it gets absorbed into my system. So I've been really diving into it as much as I can, but I already had it scheduled to go away. First of all, I had to go to my cousins go skiing, so I had to bring the medication with me, and I brought my own food because I wanted to do like a modified Mediterranean diet. I just wanted to really improve
Mhm.
what I eat. and of course a lot of fluids. And I've always did pretty well with fluids and all that. So all the things that I've learned through the foundation and PBC awareness has really been helpful to me. And when I first was diagnosed, I really did feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed up, watching as much as I possibly can about PBC and also liver health and things like that. So, but being I'm retired for a year now, and my wife works and all that. So I was home pretty much diving into it and all that. And I thought, wow, I did see that 95% women have PBC and 5% men. I don't know if that's still the statistics or not, but I know it's rare for men. And so anyway, I I think the best thing for others to do is really just learn as much as you possibly can about PBC and also what is healthy for you to do in your life. I've always tried to be healthy, but also at the same time is connecting to people like you and others who have the knowledge and the experience. Because I'm a newbie.
Mm-hmm.
I only found out between Christmas and New Year's
Wow.
that I had PBC. And then I went away, not only, I went away for a month to Colorado and to Arizona to visit my family, to go skiing and so I was a little concerned about traveling, with new medication. I didn't want to disrupt, my travels and all that because I have to eat, a certain way. I'm in a way kind of rigid in regards to doing what is right for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing is my family and friends that I was with, they were so supportive of me and they wanted to know about PBC. And it's amazing how they actually did the research and came back to me and we had discussions about it. So I felt like I have the support, not only through the foundation and PBC awareness now. I know
Mm-hmm.
that you're in the United States.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And I'm excited to be here with you today because, I've always been in the helping field, in mental health. And and now that I'm retired, I feel like, I could help other people still. I could be an advocate. I could hopefully influence others
Mm-hmm.
to do what I have done and to face it head on, but also to know that, your life goes on. I'm glad I jumped right into going away for a month and doing what I did because at first I was a little uncertain, but it got me out of my cocoon in a way. You know, I felt like I was alone, but now I felt, hey, I'm going to tell people about this because my story, it's important, I think, because, and then I'm not throwing my primary doctor under the bus, but I don't think he was aware of
Mm-hmm.
PBC, and maybe because I was a male, I have no idea, but I think you have to be very active in your own treatment, your own
Mm-hmm.
care. And if I think about it, I might have let another couple of years go by without taking the medication. Even though I changed my lifestyle to the better, I
Mm-hmm.
think that might have helped keep my liver healthy. But at the same time, how long could I go?
Right.
I'm going to be 68 in May, and I know the body changes, and I know that we can't ward off things that we did when we were in our 30s. So I felt if I didn't pursue the blood test
Mm-hmm.
or the initial sonogram and meet with my gastroenterologist, I could have went another couple of years without uh, taking the medication to help me,
Mm-hmm.
to live with this autoimmune disease. And I'm happy to say I just got my results back after 3 months. I got my blood work done, and my enzymes are in a normal range now.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited. another another success story in regards to the treatment of PBC.
So, from what I'm hearing, and I've heard this across the board from other PBC patients, that initially they aren't getting that response from their primary care, and they have to advocate for themselves to push for further testing. Um, and it sounds like that was your experience as well.
Yes.
So, do you suggest that patients, if they feel that something is wrong, that they should continue to pursue, even if they're not being met with as much interest from their primary care physicians?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, you know, I asked my gastroenterologist, do you think I had this for a while? And he goes, well, I did look at your portal, and you most likely had it back in
Mm.
2022.
Oh, wow.
And he said, probably because of your lifestyle, you exercise, you eat
Mhm.
right, you're very in tune with your body. And he said, most likely because, you live a healthy lifestyle, that your liver was able to endure
Mhm.
that for this long. But it's great that you now know, and that you have this medication to assist you, to assist your liver, so it doesn't overwork. And because eventually,
Mhm.
as you know, and others know, that over time
Mhm.
it could do damage, and probably will do damage to the bile glands.
Well, that's good that you pushed forward and you advocated for yourself and that you were able to get the confirmation and the
Mhm.
treatment that you needed.
Mhm.
Um, have you been able to connect with other PBC patients, especially other men with the disease?
I haven't met or been connected with any men yet, but I have to say this because I have a small YouTube channel, and I also am on Facebook. And the reason why I'm on Facebook is really to stay connected with family and friends,
Mhm.
and I really enjoy that. So I did a couple of videos about the my experience, and a lot of I couldn't believe it. It was at least five people IM'd me, instant messaged me, and said, "Oh, my wife's been diagnosed with that since she was 30."
Oh,
I
wow.
was like, 30, and she's 65 now. And I was like, wow. I go, wow, she's lived a long time. And how's she doing? And she's doing fine. So I was really happy to hear that. And then others have contacted me too. So it's not until I opened up is when you hear other people, they feel comfortable now opening up. I think in the past, because I didn't take medication, and I was always active and always looked healthy and felt healthy, a lot of people will open up to me because I don't
Mhm.
have that experience as they do. And now I realize, how important it is to share. Um, I'm very comfortable with it. So I'll be happy to talk to anybody about my experience with PBC, and
Mhm.
what helps me, and what I think, and I want to learn more too, because I
Mhm.
don't know it all. In fact, I'm going to schedule a meeting with a registered dietitian who has some experience with helping people with PBC, because one of my concerns was not able to absorb A, D, E, K vitamins. And so I want to make sure that, that I can do that, because I want healthy bones, and,
Mhm.
I want to stay as healthy as long as I can,
Right,
have a healthy longevity, if you will.
right. Um, So you mentioned that you have the YouTube channel, and I did go on your YouTube channel, and I see that you are a strong advocate for healthy mindset and making sure that people have I guess, a good spiritual or mental outlook on life. What do you recommend, or what do you do in order to protect your mental, protect your healthy outlook? Is there anything that you can share with the audience that you would suggest to help them to get through their more difficult and trying times during this process?
Yes, I believe it is connecting to others. And I think this is a great way to do it.
Mhm.
Also, to really try to educate yourself in regards to PBC, and also know that a healthy lifestyle is so important uh, for everybody, of course, but even more so when you have an autoimmune disease like
Mhm.
PBC. Eating right. I have a modified Mediterranean diet now, and I was a sugar addict. I was
Mm.
eating like a high schooler. I was eating ice cream every night, having cake. You know, really just enjoying my intake of food. But I know sugar is something that we shouldn't really have. No, nor should anyone have too much of a sugar. But so eating right is, I think, it really helped me. Sleeping right, exercising, being around positive individuals.
Mhm.
Also, I do, I pray, and I
Mhm.
believe the power of prayer.
Mhm.
And another thing is by being on Facebook and connected to family and friends, and also having the YouTube channel. I've been in contact with people from all over the world now that I have a relationship with,
Mhm.
long distance, of course. So I feel I feel very important. I believe it's very important to share what works
Mhm.
for me. So um, in regards to the spiritual side and all that, I always prayed, pray for others and I pray for myself and, give me the strength to endure. And I really believe that uh, when you have challenges in life, you learn so much from these challenges. And I think that's part of your human experience,
Mhm.
that, how do you handle these things that come into your life? You can't avoid it. The longer you live, the more experience you're going to
Mhm.
have with challenges. And just like, growing up, we all had challenges when we were children, when we became adolescents, young adults, when we came to middle age, and all the things that you were doing in your life. There, if you're living and you can't live with too much fear, because if you do, that will be unhealthy
Mhm.
emotionally and spiritually and physically, of course, because everything is connected, as you know.
Right.
So having a good balance, mentally, physically, and spiritually, I think is really important. And to open up with others who you feel comfortable with.
Mhm.
And once you do, you'll realize that you're not alone, and that a lot of people feel the same way. And
Right.
to me, it's just energizing.
Um, what would you like to see change in the health industry as it relates to PBC?
I, I would I would really like that the medical field becomes more aware of these rare diseases, and that it's important that with all the technology they have, that they don't just rely on what they know now. I think if it's okay for them to say, well, I really don't know, and seek assistance. Like, I finally got with my gastroenterologist, and where now I'm going to go to a registered dietitian. So I think the medical field needs to be more aware of not only what they know, but also to make sure that they they come in contact with others who may have better knowledge, have other patients that may have the same symptoms. The other thing too is I think they need to know more about the importance of food,
Mhm.
exercise. I don't think they talk too much about that. I don't that they don't have time, I guess. But I think it's important that they ask you those questions.
Mhm.
What's your diet like? Are you now they're asking, are you depressed?
Mhm.
Do you have depression? I think that's since COVID. Well, from my experience, it seems like they ask that now, which is good.
Mhm.
They should ask that, and people need to be honest and open about it. Um, so I think the blood work is really important, and I think my doctor now is aware
Mhm.
of how important it is to not
Yeah.
just say, "Hey, I'll see you in 6 months" or "I'll see you in a
Right.
year." So I think he's learned something, which I'm okay with,
Mhm.
but I think I think others have to be more aware of the autoimmune diseases,
Mhm.
and what can each patient do to improve their lifestyle, so
Mhm.
perhaps they don't have to take as much medication.
Right.
Why, it's great. Medication's helpful, and it's helped me. But at the same time, I think we can minimize a lot of other things if we improve our lifestyle
Mhm.
and look forward to a healthy longevity.
So, what final or parting words would you like to share with the audience who are watching you today?
I would just like to say that I'd like to connect with all of you as much as possible. And, you asked me, have I discussed this or do I know any other men who have PBC? I think women are more open. I
Mhm.
think they share more. They're not self-conscious. I think
Mhm.
I just, I have a lot of I have a lot of friends that are women, and I've learned so much from women. But I think a lot of men don't share that much, and I have no problem doing that because of my years of experience working in the mental health field. I think it's important to open up and share. So I would suggest that even the women and the men in their life, or if they know somebody, they should say, how important it is to find somebody you can talk to,
Mhm.
you know. And I would also suggest that for your audience that they open up and that they share their experience because you could be helping so many people
Right.
by just, sharing your story. Uh, the PBC awareness, I love what that's all about because I think more and more people need to know about PBC and also other autoimmune diseases
Mhm.
because you can help others and you'll be helping yourself. So if you help others, you'll also be helping yourself, and
Right.
life will be so much more enjoyable and not scary, and you won't feel alone.
Well, that being said, how can the audience reach you so that they can connect with you?
Well, just like you connected with me, um, I would ask you what would be the best way for people to contact me because I'm on Facebook and I have
Mhm.
the small YouTube channel and all that. Other than that, I am on the newsletter.
Mhm.
So if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'll be happy to talk to them because this is what life's all about for me, especially now that I'm retired. This gives me something really to do in my retirement. And, I've always wanted to help other people. So I'd be happy to talk to anyone and share my experience and also to continue to share my life going forward because I am going to meet that registered dietitian and I want to really dive into what else we all can do to help our improve our health.
So, how
And
can they reach you on Facebook and what is your YouTube channel so that they can contact you there?
it's Tom Zimmerman at Tom Zimmerman. I guess you just would enter in YouTube Tom Zimmerman
Okay.
and you'll see my face.
And Facebook is Tom Zimmerman as well?
Yeah, it's Tom Zimmerman,
Okay.
and
Okay.
we're on Facebook now, right? I think that's
No,
how.
this is Zoom. This is
Yeah,
Zoom.
no, not now. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
instant messaged me.
Yes, on
Yeah,
Tom,
so
yeah,
I'm
Tom
still
Zimmerman
learning
and
about.
Facebook. No, it's all
I'm
good.
still learning about the
It's all
technology.
good. So the audience can reach you on Facebook at Tom Zimmerman,
Yes.
and they can put in Tom Zimmerman in YouTube, and your YouTube channel should come up.
Yeah, you'll
And
see my
they,
mug.
yeah.
There's a few Tom Zimmermans on there. I thought I was the only one. I'm only kidding.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. For
Oh, you're
everyone
welcome.
watching, Tom wants to connect. So
Yes.
please reach out to him and expand both of your communities to include each other and be inspired by one another because that's how we grow as a human race. That's how we connect as a community. Um,
Yes.
thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and I've learned so much about you and your journey, and I'm sure that you are inspiring others as well.
Oh, thank you so much. And you inspire me too. And please, if I say anything inaccurate or it doesn't hold up, please let me know. I need that information because I
Will
want to make
do.
sure I provide the best information, and also we look forward to connecting to all of you.
Awesome. Well, we will connect with you offline, continue
Okay,
to communicate, and we look forward to seeing you more.
thank you. I can't
Okay.
wait. Be well. Bye bye.